So, with the new season update, Lucario basically has the best possible moveset in the game, with the best fast move and the best charge moveset as well as stab on all of them. So, today we're going to take a look at Lucario and what this Pokemon can do with a very good team here of Feraligatr as our Saysop as well as the Corsola in the back. And so, why is Lucario so cool? Lucario has access to Force Palm. What is Force Palm? Force Palm is a stronger version of Astonish, which we see here already with the Corsola on the team as well as the Mud Step. It just does more damage while having, I think, the same energy generation, which is crazy because people, including myself, actually think that Astonish and Mud Step are a little bit too strong. Why does no one run Force Palm? Because Force Palm is only on Pokemon that are quite squishy and they cannot really utilize as much of the effect of like a long-term matchup, for example, with a fast move like this. And this is the main reason why Force Palm isn't as common, but it's actually a really good fast move that a lot of people don't know. Then you're going to have Aura Sphere. You're going to be able to reach Aura Sphere after 12 turns or 4 times using the fast move of the Force Palm. And it's an 80 damage stab move for 40 energy, which is absolutely fantastic. One of the strongest moves currently in the game. And then you're going to have the new recently buffed Media Mesh on this Pokemon, and this is going to change quite a bit. Because Media Mesh is now 45 energy, you're going to be able to get there, not faster directly, but you're going to get to the second one a bit faster. But generally speaking, you have for 45 energy a charge move that does 100 damage, that is stab, that is ridiculous. Basically, you're going to have so much potential here with the, Lucario in order to destroy entire teams if you're going to have it set up correctly. But also one benefit, which a lot of people don't really think about too much as well, is that there are not really a lot of fighting type Pokemon currently around that are viable. And now we're going to have a lot of ghost type Pokemon involved as well. It's going to be making it a bit more tough, but a lot of teams are not prepared for the fighting type damage that Lucario kind of provides. And here we're going to go for the bait. Hindsight, I should have went for one fast move though. I would have been able to go for the double Media Mesh then instead. But it doesn't really matter because you're going to have the Gorgeist here. I make a bit of a mistake here. It doesn't really matter because I was fairly certain at this point that I still would be able to survive a Shadow Ball. But if I would have not survived the Shadow Ball here, I would lose the battle immediately. But if I just went for my charge move here after 3 fast moves, I would have been able to kind of force the final shield and then still had a charge move with Lucario. So that was a mistake by me, but it's still a 1 no matter what because I knew that the Shadow Ball wouldn't do enough damage, but it was closer than I even expected. Entering the next battle, we're going to face a Sableye against us. A Pokemon that I absolutely want to showcase still. I think Sableye is one of the biggest meta winners of the recent season update. As I do think that this Pokemon is going to be something that you have to be a bit mindful for the future as well. I think that Sableye is one of the strongest Pokemon that you can run right now. This thing has not only great stab coverage with Shadow Claw as well as Foul Play, you also have one of the best coverage moves in Power Gem in the current meta. While Power Gem itself isn't like anything crazy special or whatever, it's still going to be out with the current meta as there are quite a lot of flying type and ice type Pokemon that you're going to be able to hit for super effective damage. And this is also something why Power Gem is very good on the Corsola currently. So we will see here also certain times that having this as a coverage move can be quite nice. As we will see here, the Foul Play is going to do a lot of damage against us, and I had no real... I didn't really think we would have a chance here of winning still this battle at this point because we only have a Lucario with a shield disadvantage. But because our fast move damage is so crazy, we can knock out the opponent's Pokemon without having to go for any move here. And so next up, we're going to have basically the worst Pokemon for this team, which is going to be the Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff has a solid matchup against our lead. Generally, I think we're going to be able to win at least definitely the 0 shield scenario if I want to, but I think both the 0 and the 1 shield scenario I can win with the Lucario against the Wigglytuff. But the issue is they're going to win the 2 shields, and my backline is really weak to this Pokemon. And so I have to play a bit creative here. And we are not really yet that creative, as we're going to have the opponent here going into their Credilli. That's cool, that's fine. I'm just going to go for the Aura Sphere. That's most likely going to be shielded anyway. They're going to shield me down, they're going to knock me out here anyway. And then they let the move go, and that makes 0 sense for me, like absolutely 0 sense why they don't just shield their Wigglytuff, because Wigglytuff would have been able to single-handedly most likely won the battle here. But like this, I will be able to still go up against the Credilli. And not only this, I'm going to be able to see him Pitta here, which means they're forced to use their final shield. And even if this would have not happened and they knocked me out previously, and because of the fast move pressure that I have with Force Palm, I'm actually putting them into range for Hydro Cannon. But because I don't really need to risk it, I can just go even for the Ice Beam here in order to knock them out guaranteed. And so, yeah, this is going to be a great game. And again, Lucario actually came in clutch and was the Pokemon that won us the battle here. as we face off against a bad lead. But what do you see here you should copy? I decided to go for 3 fast moves here and then swap out. Why is it so important? Like, this is actually quite commonly seen in a lot of matchups. Another one would be, for example, Togekiss. The most common way right now for Pokemon to get to the moves is after 10 fast moves. Like 10 turns, basically. That's what I mean with that. And if you go for 3 fast moves with your Lucario, you end up at 9 turns. And if you stop out, it takes 1 turn. You always kind of get a free fast move in with your Feraligatr. Why is it so important? Of course, here in the first matchup, we were able to catch a charge move from the Swampert, which is great because it's going to be a resisted hit. But not only this, we are going to be able to get 1 free fast move in. Or what does it change? Even though you're going to lose the Pitta, for example, against the Togekiss then, you are going to be able to outspeed them to the next move, and you're going to get to the Hydro Cannon before they can go for the next charge move. This is going to be a game changer. It's completely kind of helping you out there, as it's going to make the matchup so much better for you, or just generally playable in a lot of cases. And then you're still going to have the 30 energy on your Lucario stored, which then means you only need 1 more fast move to get to another move. And as you see as well, against the debuffed, what's called Talonflame here, we are going to be able to win the battle, as we were doing a lot of damage there, and we were able to get rid of all the shields as well. Entering another horrible lead here for us, we had quite a bit of tough leads with the Lucario. Lucario itself is kind of a bit awkward because the typing itself is both good as well as bad. So where is it good? The steel typing actually helps all the fighting typing quite a bit in like some defensive matters. For example, Fairy as well as Flying are going to be neutral against you, which usually they would be super effective. And you're going to be even able to hit the Fairy types for super effective damage thanks to the steel typing, thanks to the Media Mesh. So that's kind of cool. Where is it awkward? There are actually still quite a few weaknesses of this, of course, because the steel type is like weakness to fire, weaknesses to ground. Fighting is not going to be great against the ghost type Pokemon as well. So there are quite a lot of very common meta Pokemon that are kind of destroying the typing itself, which makes it a bit awkward. But honestly, I do think if Lucario would have been just bulkier, this Pokemon would be absolutely top meta. And the only reason why I don't see it as often, where it's like, I think, ranked 200 something in the Go Battle League rankings from PvPoke, the only reason why this is the case is literally just because of the bulk of this Pokemon. But again, you're looking here at a Pokemon that is not supposed to have bulk, and so you kind of have to think about it a bit differently. Like defensively, you cannot use it, but offensively, it's still very, very solid. Here, we would have been able to reach the Night Shade in time, but I would have never done enough damage, so I had to go for the Power Gem. I barely lose out this battle, and this was kind of a complete hardball against me, so I'm actually alright with that. Moving on, what do we have next? We're going to have here, a charge of coming through. It is going to be the Aura Sphere, and we will see here as well that we are going to be able to just let this move go. It's going to be the Air Cutter. Still doing a lot of damage, and they're going to get the attack boost as well, which is funny because the opponent is going to just allow me here basically to use a shield. That's fine. It's going to be a payback, but I'm going to be able to get rid of them while having a Hydro Cannon stored here and having energy still on my Lucario. And this is going to be amazing because now I can use my Feraligatr. That's at least what I thought, because we're going to see here the swap into the Azumarill. And a question that I'm definitely going to get in the comment section as well is going to be the Shadow Feraligatr okay as well for this team? And the clear answer is yeah, absolutely. Like you can definitely use the Shadow Feraligatr here as well instead. That would work out quite well as well. And as we will see here as well, there's going to be the Azumarill now against us. Player off coming through, all fine. We're going to go for a Nightshade against the opponent. This is going to be perfect. This is going to be okay. The Nightshade is coming through, going to do some solid damage. And in comes now the next move from the Corsola. Nightshade is going to allow us to knock them out. In comes Feraligatr. And let's see what we can do here. We're going to try our best here. Nightshade is not going to work out for us, as we are going to be forced to use a shield. Hydro Cannon is coming in. And yeah, we're going to be able to now at least get the shield from the opponent. And with that, we're going to be able to go into our own Feraligatr, which has 2 charge moves stored. Hydro Cannon is going to be not enough to knock them out here, but should put them into farm down range, and I have still 2 other Pokemon left as well. So I should be in the alright spot, but I actually can even farm down with my non-Shadow Feraligatr. But yeah, I mainly have the non-Shadow Feraligatr just for, of course, the extra bulk. But actually, in this case, a lot of times it is kind of cool to have the Shadow bonus on top of it as well. It just really depends. The non-Shadow one kind of helps you out with catching moves, which you kind of need to do with the lead that we have anyway. The Shadow one is going to be better, like especially against like Ghost-type Pokemon like the Jellicent. You're going to have more fast move pressure. Against Azumarill, you're going to be more neutral. It's kind of similar to what you have with the Sableye as well. Which one is better there? Depends on which kind of role you want to play. And this is kind of the same case here. Both are, I think, kind of equally as good for this team. Funny enough that they're running Aqua Jet. I actually popularized Aqua Jet for a little bit on the Dugong, just mainly on accident because I was running this Pokemon with Aqua Jet because I just always selected the wrong Pokemon. But I actually saw then especially with coaching that I did as well, a lot of players played in a cup last season, a lot of times the Aqua Jet Dugong, even though it didn't really make too much sense. But yeah, if people copy the team without listening to the commentary, that can happen sometimes. But as you will see, there's going to be the Corsola, there's going to be a Brutal Swing coming through, and we are going to be able to just utilize a shield here. This is going to be fine, it's going to be the Brutal Swing, and we can go for the full farm down against the opponent. There's a swap button to the Marowak. This is not going to be fine, this is a Pokemon that I don't have the Pokemon anymore to deal with. We have in theory the Feraligatr, which is going to be a Pokemon that can guarantee win this matchup against the Marowak in any kind of neutral shield scenarios, but in this case it's not going to work out. This, by the way, another matchup where it's kind of important to have the non-shadow. It's just literally the matchup against the Marowak, because you're going to be able to win this as a non-shadow but not as a shadow. So Feraligatr here. And we can do the same thing again, go for 3 and then try to swap. But in this case, the opponent decides to swap out themselves into their Credilli, allowing us to go for an Ice Beam here, doing some massive damage. But they're using a shield, and at this point, I don't think it's worth it for me to utilize a shield here anymore. Because, I mean, I guess it is worth it because they're going to be forced to go for another charge move then. Yeah, it's going to be a bit tough. Let's see on how this is going to go. We don't know really on how this is going to go here straight away. We're going to be able to mostly let the move go. It's going to be a resisted hit guaranteed, so we see on what's going to be in store for us. In comes the Altaria. We can go for the charge move here. We can go for the Media Mesh, doing a ton of damage. And I'm tried my best to get to another charge move, but as you see here, Sky Attack, we have to let the move go. In comes the Corsola, and with this, we're going to be able to go for the full farm run. Because I know I can take a hit here, I can even take 2 hits, but the energy is going to be what's crucial on my Pokemon. And so, we're going to see the Feraligatr stopping in. We are forced, of course, to use a shield here. Or are we? Actually, in theory, we would have been still able to survive the hit, but I think it's still best. We're going to try to go for a charge move here just before they would get to another charge move as well. And in comes our own Feraligatr. We can reach the move in time. This should be, in theory, enough to knock them out. And so let's see if this is going to actually work. It does. And so the Credilli comes in when we see the opponent forfeiting here. Quite a lot of battles here to do today as well. There are, of course, there's currently the Go Battle weekend going on for like 4 days where you're going to have 100 battles each day. So it is kind of a lot of content that I can do with this. I can take basically, take the battles a little bit further. I can take a team a little bit further and play it for a few more sets than I would do usually. And so that's kind of alright here. As you're going to see, there's going to be now the Gorgas coming in. It's going to be able to go for a hard-hitting charge move as well with the Seed Bomb. But here also, for example, the Shadow Feraligatr would have never been able to survive that. And with this, we are going to be able to take them down with an Ice Beam. And goodbye there. In comes whatever is coming in. It's going to be, let's see. It's going to be the Wigglytuff, and I still get to this move. I should have not got to this move. I think it was very lucky that I got to this move, but this can literally change everything. This is going to be kind of a good thing for us because we're so weak to the Wigglytuff otherwise that we kind of need to get that shield here and the damage onto them, because now they're in range for 1 Power Gem, and Power Gem is going to be charged very soon. But the issue is they got the debuff here onto us, and so I'm not too sure if this is still going to be enough damage. And as we will see, Power Gem is coming through, doing some solid damage, and the Ludicolo is going to go down as well. And this is going to be absolutely perfect as we can now move on to the next opponent. So let's take a look here at the next one. We're going to have the Ludicolo against us in the lead. This is going to be a bit of a tough matchup. It's practically impossible for us to win this matchup other than the zero shield scenario. And so we will see the shield coming up here, but also we're going to swap out into our Feraligatr. This is going to be generally a solid matchup as we can catch the move, and in comes the opponent's Celio, a Pokemon that can take any of our hits, but I'm not too worried about it yet as we can hopefully do something against them as well. They go for the Body Slam, not enough to knock me out. It's a non-shadow version as well. I would have, of course, our lead that is offensively good against it, but defensively we would go down to maybe even a Body Slam, so I'm not too sure if it's really worth it. And so I decided to swap on to the Corsa. And I do think it was most likely a little bit of a mistake here. What we see is that we are going to have the farm down happening here from the Corsola, but they actually can get 2 stars in time, doing some massive damage against us. And with that, we are going to have, the Ludicolo against us, of course, forced to use a shield here because otherwise I go down with all my energy and I need to get rid of the shields from the opponent. Otherwise I don't have a chance of winning this battle here. But as you see, we're gonna get the knockout. And as you're also gonna see, it's going to be a Togekiss in the back. But sadly, the opponent plays it perfectly. They no shield here. I needed one more fast move basically in order to get to another charge move there, and a power gem in this case, in order to force the opponent to use a shield, but I wasn't able to. And with that, the opponent is going to be able to just knock us out here, or are they? We waited the clock perfectly, and we have now the Hydro Cannon stored. Do we win CMP tie, or does Togekiss win CMP tie? I'm not too sure. Let's see. It's going to be Togekiss. And so we are sadly going to go down here. That is alright though. We're going to see the Sideshow coming through, and we are not going to be able to win this battle. And next up here, we're going to have the Empoleon against us. And that is going to be, of course, a fantastic matchup for the Lucario. Lucario, honestly, is such a cool Pokemon now. I love on how strong they made this Pokemon. Aura Sphere is coming through against the opponent now. And this is going to be enough to get the shield. I hope I will get... I think the damage here is better for me. And I do get the damage out, which is fine, because I think Aura Sphere is... Oh yeah, Aura Sphere is guaranteed doing more damage than a Hydro Cannon from a Feraligatr. They do the exact same damage, I think. It's the same move, damage per energy-wise. But yeah, you're going to have more attack, of course, on a Lucario compared to the Feraligatr. And as you can see, the sub button to the Empoleon. Catching the move here. Well done from the opponent. Yeah, Empoleon goes down, and in comes the Ninetales, and... yeah, I didn't really play that perfectly. The issue here is Ninetales is honestly such a strong Pokemon. It is such a strong Pokemon. We will see here the Nightshade coming through, which is going to be great. It's going to allow us to get the shield. But now I try to pressure them a little bit more, but because of the fast move damage update as well, to Potters now, it's actually able to farm down our Lucario that easily. And now I don't have the chance here anymore to win this battle. I am curious. I'm curious on if I would have stayed in straight away, if I would have been able to win this battle. I think I maybe would have got a draw, but this is going to be it. And this is also going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks so much for watching, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.